Alex, I understand that you have some concerns that you'd like to discuss today. So whenever you're ready, I'm happy for you to voice whatever it is that you'd like to talk about.
Yeah, well, I suppose the bottom line is I'm having some difficulties in my relationship with my wife, and I'm very uncertain about actually being here, and it's a bit embarrassing talking about these things with a stranger.
Yeah, so you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable discussing such personal information with an outsider?
Yes, it is. I'm a bit awkward. I was brought up to solve your problems yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't go outside the family, you don't take your problems to strangers. And I would normally do, but also I realise now that given the depth of the problem, that I also need to get another perspective on things.
Okay, all right. I guess what I generally say to people when they first come along is that it's not uncommon to feel quite uncomfortable talking to an outsider about such personal information, and even though I can't predict exactly how you're going to feel and how things will go for you today, I do know that in the past a lot of other people have actually felt quite uncomfortable to begin with, but as they've been able to talk and get things off their chest, they actually feel quite relieved. So you might find that as we spend more time together, that you're more comfortable in this environment too.
Well, I hope it works out that way.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Well, it was a friend of mine who'd been involved in counselling previously who suggested that this is what I should attempt to do anyway.
Right.
See where we go.
Okay. And you were saying before as well that that normally you like to solve things yourself and work things out yourself, and I think it's quite a balanced perspective to be looking at how you're going to resolve things yourself, and also to get an outside perspective as well. So I can see lots of benefit that can come from that dual approach.
Well, I haven't succeeded in doing it by myself, so
yeah,
it's worth a go.
Yeah, so perhaps we can shed some light on some helpful approaches for you. Yeah. Okay. I guess to help me understand your situation, it'd be helpful if you could talk a little bit about what's been going on for you and what's brought you along.
Well, I suppose things have just deteriorated in my relationship with my wife, Angelina. We've been married 11 years now, and we've got two kiddies, John who's 9 and Jackie who's 7.
Right.
And she's very busy in a job, and she's always been I suppose a bit of a control freak.
Right.
She likes things to be just so. And occasionally she would, what I would call it, lose the plot, and she'd yell at me and abuse me, but in the past that was never a problem because we could sit down and talk about it, and she'd recognise that she'd probably gone over the top and whatever. But lately it's really just gotten out of hand, and she's not controlling her anger or temper, and it really concerns me now because I think it's starting to affect the kids.
Right, okay. So it sounds like to begin with she might often become quite angry, but she would settle down and you could resolve things, but of late it's become a lot more volatile, and she's become more explosive, and you're really concerned about the impact on yourself and the children.
Yeah, I mean the kids are young, and I mean John, he's a boy and he seems to be handling things okay. But you're always uncertain as to really how things are affecting him. Jackie's only 7, as I said, and she's a lot more sensitive, and she's not really handling things too well at all. Yeah. And that's really starting to put a lot of extra concern to me.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like you've got a lot of concerns about both the kids, and John's probably handling it okay outwardly, even though obviously he's feeling it. But Jackie, you're particularly concerned about because she's quite delicate, and you're worried about that impact.
Yeah.
And all of you are walking around on eggshells at the moment, just waiting for some kind of explosion to happen. Does that sound right?
Well, I'm concerned about the kids, but I'm concerned about the marriage. It's important to me to do what you can to keep things together, because that's better for the kids.
Yeah.
But if I had to single out one major concern, it would be probably for Jackie.
Okay.
Because there's been a few incidents lately where the kids have been exposed in